Ma'am, only first.
Only first. Okay. Okay, then for second chapter also we can find. So revision for second chapter, have what is circular flow diagram, and how, who is selling what in circular flow diagram, what are the two sectors, the farm sector and household sector. So who is selling what? Suppose your product, this is product market, this is your factor market, and who is selling what, who, suppose this is your household, this is your farm sector, two sectors are there. So what the households are selling, they are selling land, labor, capital. Okay, land, labor and capital they are selling. And households will sell, a pricing is done in the factor market, factor prices. Then the land, labor, capital will be sold in the farm to, it will be sold to the farm. And here land, labor, capital, who is buying? Farm will buy, farm will buy land, labor and capital. Okay, so it will produce goods and services with the help of them. So it will sell goods and service, farm will sell goods and service. So their price will be decided in the product market. Then what will happen? Who will buy? The household will buy the goods and service. And so this is a physical flow. Physical flow means actual goods and commodities, and physically people are selling their services. Then farms are buying, so farm has to pay the money in terms of rent, wage, interest. Okay, who is selling land, labor, capital? Households are selling. Who is selling the goods and service? Farm is selling. So this becomes the labor income. So income becomes rent, wage and interest. Rent is for land, wage is for labor, interest is for capital. So that becomes income of the farm, sorry, income of the household. So household will say, spend that money, spend that income, and everything is being spend that income, that becomes revenue, that becomes revenue of the farm or income of the farm. For these goods and services they are spending, and when they are spending the goods and services, they are there's for the goods and service they are spending money. So that is known as expenditure or spending, that becomes the revenue of the farm. This is known as your financial flow. What is visual? That is your circular flow is a visual model which is showing how the dollar or money is flowing from one sector to another. And we are having two markets, two product market and factor market, two sectors, farm sector, household sector. Farms will sell goods and service, household will sell labor or factors of production, and how they are moving. And land, labor, capital, what are its remunerations? And decision making by the farm and household. Farm will decide what to produce and whom to hire. Two things. What to produce, what are the goods they will produce, that is their decision. Whom to hire, which are the factors of production and how much, they, that is their choice. Whom to hire, Mr. A or Mr. B, that is their choice. Then household will decide what to buy, which type of goods they want to buy, that is their choice. And for whom they will work, means whether they will work for farm A or farm B or farm C, it is their choice. So this is how you will understand. Okay, now come to the second part of it, PPF, in second chapter. So PPF means production possibility frontier. So what are the shifting, why, what is PPF, what does it show? PPF shows four things, that is efficiency. When we are talking about a PPF, that may be straight line or that may be a bow shaped curve. Bow shaped PPF means opportunity cost increases, increasing, it is showing it is bow shaped because of increased opportunity cost. Opportunity cost increase, then it will be a bow shaped curve. If opportunity cost constant, then it will be a straight line PPF. Now PPF can shift towards left if resource decrease, and if resource increase, then rightward shift of PPF. Okay, due to resource increase in resources. But if there is technological change, means in one sector, suppose this is your car, this is your computer, or whatever, fish and potato, whatever you say for production. Now if there is technological improvement in car sector, then car production will increase, but production of computer will remain as it is, as constant. So what will happen, there will be increase in production of cars. Similarly, if there is improvement or technology in this sector, computer sector, the more production in computer sector, the other sector, car sector, remain constant, remain as it is. Similarly, we will have one more thing, that is about what are the points, different points on left side of the PPF. This is left side, this is below PPF, or we can say within the PPF graph. Okay, or below PPF. What does this mean? Point A, what does this mean? Huh? Car and
Ma'am,
computer.
ma'am, feasible but inefficient
Yeah, this
use of resources.
efficient with the given resources. So a leftward, or we can say this is your left side or below the PPF, this point, and any point above it is called
Ma'am, not feasible.
not feasible with the given resources, but it is known as a growth point. Economy can have a, or it is showing an economic growth in future. Economy can reach here if technology improves or resource improves, resource increase, then it can reach here. So that is why it is called a growth point. And any point on this, see, what does that mean? See point.
Efficient and feasible.
Yeah, it is efficient as well as feasible with the given resources. Any point on this curve will be showing that. And what we else we know that PPF can shift either leftward or rightward, and there will be parallel shift, or there can be slanting. Slanting is due to the change in technology in one sector. But if there is change in technology, change in skill production increases, or then what will or education increases, then there they will have impact on PPF, which will shift rightward. Skill improve means skill of all the people improve. Education improve means it is for all, so that will be as good as your resource improve. That will be as good as resource improve, and parallel shift towards right will be there. So this is what the effects of changes in PPF or shifting of PPF due to many factors. Now we will go for chapter 4. Chapter 4, we can have the law of demand and supply. What is law of demand? What is supply? According to law of demand, price increases, then quantity demand will decrease, and vice versa. Other things remaining constant. Okay, price increase, quantity demand will fall, or vice versa. Similarly, it is showing an inverse relationship or direct relationship between price and quantity demand. Tell me, law of demand shows an direct or
I mean,
inverse.
inverse relation.
Yeah, it is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So in law of demand we are finding this, and it is a downward sloping curve. What does that mean? Okay, so it is showing that one increases, the other is decreasing. Price increases, quantity demand decreasing. Similarly, law of supply also you can find. What are the determinants or factors affecting demand, or shifters they are known as? Shifters, factors, determinants, same thing. Tell me, what are the factors of demand?
Number of buyers, then
Yeah.
future expectations, then income, then
Hmm.
taste,
Hmm.
price of related goods.
Yeah, price of related goods. If there is a change in own price or price of the product itself, suppose I'm saying what will happen to the quantity demand of apple in Bhubaneswar market if the price of orange increases or decreases. If the two goods are related goods, then only you can calculate what is happening. But there will be shifting in the demand curve. But if I will say what will happen to quantity demand when there is a change in price of orange itself, then the curve will not shift, rather there will be movement along the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve means due to change in price. Suppose this is P1, price is P1, now it is P2. So quantity was Q1, now it will be Q2 increase. Price fall, quantity is increasing. What is happening? There isn't, this is known as movement along the curve from A to B, let's say. So that this is known as movement along the curve due to change in own price. If there is change in price of related goods, then there is movement either downward, either leftward or rightward of demand curve. Demand curve will change from D1 to D2. Okay, so this is due to other factors. This is due to own price. So this is change in demand. This is called change in quantity demand. This is known as change in quantity demand. This is change in demand of a good, general demand, market demand, demand of a good. Okay, so this is when the shifting is due to other factors, other determinants of demand. Similarly, in case of supply also, you will get the same thing, similar type of things. What are the factors? Tell me, factors of shifting, which or shifters of supply, factors of supply.
Ma'am, input price, number of sellers, technological development, then
Yes.
future expectation.
Yeah, so what will happen, some situation will be suppose given to you. Suppose this, sorry, this is your demand curve. If this is a supply curve, supply will increase with when price increases. P increase from P1 to P2, supply curve will increase from Q1 to Q2. So what will happen when supply, when price increases, quantity supply will also increase. And when price decreases, quantity supply will decrease. Okay, so supply curve factors affecting supply. When there is price of itself, then there is movement either upward or downward along the, this is known as change in quantity supply. And when there is change in supply, then there will be shifting of supply curve, shifting of supply curve towards either left if there is an increase, and towards right if there is an decrease. Okay, so price remaining constant, supply will increase, quantity supply will increase or decrease due to number of sellers, or due to change in technology, or due to change in input price. If input price decrease, more supply. Input price increase, less supply, because there will be loss in the market, or cost of production will increase. So due to increase in or decrease in quantity supply, you can find out if there is change in price, then it is due own price, then it is change in quantity supply. It's known as change in quantity supply due to own price. Change in supply is due to other factors or factors of supply, which remain constant. If they change, then the supply curve will shift towards left or towards right. Okay, so this is known as your change in supply and change in quantity supply. Now come to the shortage and surplus. If market price, if there is, and one more thing, when there is change in the supply and demand together. Let us first discuss, that is your equilibrium, supply and demand. This is your equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium price P1, quantity Q1, 0. And if market price is more than the equilibrium price, this is your market price, then quantity demand is
Less than quantity supply.
less than quantity supply. So this situation is called
Surplus.
So this is a, there will be surplus in the market. And if market price is less than P2, Market price now. What will happen? This is a market will face a,
There will be shortage.
there will be shortage. Market will face a shortage in the market. What will happen to price if there is surplus? Price
Ma'am,
will
price will fall
till equilibrium.
till
If
equilibrium. Yeah.
price will rise till equilibrium. So what are the, some situation will be given, some values will be given, or sometimes you may get questions like what happened to the equilibrium, or if market price is more, but whether there is surplus or shortage or no change, whatever. Or if there is market price is less than the equilibrium price, then whether there is shortage or surplus or what the situation. Okay, then what is equilibrium? At equilibrium point, quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. So, quantity at equilibrium price, quantity demand is greater than quantity supply, quantity demand is equal to quantity supply, quantity demand is less than quantity supply, like this. Or you may get questions like, okay, suppose I'm getting questions like what will happen to demand curve? It will shift towards left or right, or it will not shift up. Suppose there is summer season, summer season, summer season, and what happened to demand of ice cream? It will increase, it will decrease, it will remain constant. Yes, demand curve will increase, demand will increase, demand curve will shift rightward because summer season, due to this weather condition, demand will increase. Similarly, if I'll say if the input price fall, okay, suppose this is supply curve, input price fall, what happened to supply curve? It will shift leftward or rightward, or up or down. Tell
Ma'am, can you
me.
repeat the question?
If it is the what happened to the supply curve if the input price fall?
Ma'am, supply will increase.
Yeah, supply will increase, shift towards right, it will increase and it will shift towards right. So what some situation will be given to you, you may be asked whether supply will increase or decrease or remain constant, or what is the situation. Similarly, price will be ambiguous or quantity will be ambiguous if both are changing. Okay, suppose some situation is given where demand is also changing, supply is also changing. At least two diagrams you have to do in rough and immediately find out what will be the situation. Suppose demand increase and supply increase, supply is increasing, demand is also increasing. So one situation, then what will be the second situation? At least two diagram you have to do. So here it will be price will be ambiguous and quantity will increase. New quantity, what is new quantity, what is new price or quantity? You have to calculate that, you have to find out in your copy. At least two diagrams you have to do for quantity demand equal to quantity supply, quantity demand less than quantity supply, quantity demand greater than quantity supply. At least two from this, then you will understand which one will be ambiguous. Price will be ambiguous or quantity will be ambiguous. Some situations will be given to you. Similarly, in case of demand, then come to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is about elasticity. Either directly you have to calculate P1, P2, Q1, Q2 is given. Then calculate price elasticity of demand. Calculate price elasticity of demand. Direct or income elasticity of demand in case of Y1, Y2 only change. Okay, so what happened to price elasticity of demand or income elasticity of demand or cross price elasticity of demand? Cross price elasticity of demand means when price of one good change, what happened to the quantity demand of the related goods? Okay, if the two goods are related, then what happened to the other change in other goods or quantity demand of another good? So that is what we calculate in cross price elasticity of demand. So either it will be directly or price elasticity value will be given. Suppose price elasticity is given at 0.2 minus 0.2, and suppose percentage change in quantity is given, quantity demand is given 20%. What happened? Or 10% or 50%, whatever. Then what happened? And this changes, suppose there is an increase, percentage increase in quantity demand is 20%. What will happen to price? Price will fall if the good is a normal good. What happened to the price elasticity of demand? It will, that is nothing but percentage change in quantity demand by percentage change in price. Price increases, quantity demand will fall by how much, what percentage or how much percentage, that you have to calculate. Okay, so this type of question you can calculate it and find out. Suppose your minus 0.2, here it is 20%, how much it is, that you have to calculate. Or one value is given, P1 is given, P2 is not given, calculate P2. And one type of question, suppose these two are given, okay, percentage change in quantity demand is given, percentage change, and percentage change in price is given, and calculate, then calculate price elasticity of demand is how much. Okay, then you can calculate for price and quantity relationship, how you calculate when there is a change in one factor or in quantity and other factor is not given but price change is given. So from this question you can calculate these values, and you'll just find out which option is correct. This type of question you may get, small numerical questions. And one type of question you may get, that is if the interpretation related to interpretation, if your price elasticity is price elasticity cannot be loss but minus 0.2, what does that mean? What is the type of the good? Okay, 0.5 or 1.5 or 1 or 0 or infinity, price elasticity of demand. Tell me, if it is 0.2, what does that mean?
Relatively inelastic.
Yeah. And if 0.5?
Again relatively inelastic.
1.5?
Relatively elastic.
0?
Unitary elastic.
1 is zero, unitary elastic. 0?
Perfectly inelastic.
And infinity?
Perfectly elastic.
Perfectly elastic. So like this, some values will be given. Suppose you calculated one, and what type of elasticity it is asked, or find out. Suppose two types of goods are there, luxury good, necessary good. Substitutes are available, substitutes are not available. Luxury goods, okay, or necessary goods. Okay, these two type of goods are there. Then third type of elasticity, which will, when price increases, whose quantity will fall more?
Necessary goods.
No, you see, what does it mean by relatively inelastic? Necessary goods are relatively inelastic. Relatively inelastic means cannot be stretched more. Relatively inelastic means fall will be less. For an increase in price by 10%, fall will be less than 10%. That is what we are giving you. Relatively inelastic means. Relatively inelastic means for an increase in price by 10%, there will be less than 10% decrease in quantity. But for luxury good or for necessary good, relatively elastic good, that is a case of relatively elastic good. When price increases by a little or decreases by a little, quantity demand will change to higher amount, to large percentage or large proportion. So luxury good means relatively elastic. This is relatively inelastic. In case of relatively elastic good, whenever you increase or decrease the price, response will be more than proportionately. If it is 10%, it is more than 10%. If it is 5%, more than 5%. Like this, price is changing by 5%, quantity will change by more than 5%. Relatively inelastic means less than proportionate or less than 5% if it is 5%. So in case of relatively inelastic good, you should increase the price. The quantity will fall, but less than proportionately. But in case of luxury good, if you will increase the price by a little amount, quantity demand will be affected very much. And we can say quantity demand will fall by more than proportionately. This is what you are talking about quantity goodness. What happened? One more type of goods we can say that substitute, that is your availability of substitute goods. If substitute goods are available, what happened to price elasticity of demand? Price elasticity of demand will be more or will be less if substitutes are available, relatively elastic or relatively inelastic. When substitutes are available, the goods are relatively elastic or inelastic. Relatively elastic because they can buy other goods. If substitutes are not available, they will be relatively inelastic because no options is there. So they will try to manage with this option, whatever they are getting. So relatively elastic, relatively inelastic good in case of price elasticity. Similarly, you can have income elasticity. What does that mean? Positive value in income elasticity. If income elasticity is positive, that means what does that mean? The good is a, what does that mean? The good is
Normal good.
a
Normal good.
and negative,
Inferior good.
inferior good. And positive means positive 8 plus 8 means what? How we interpret when price increases by 1%, quantity demand also increases by 8%. Now the case of cross price elasticity. If it is a case of cross price elasticity, what will happen? Cross price elasticity, what does the meaning of this plus sign? What is the meaning of plus, minus and zero in case of cross price elasticity? If it is plus means what? What type of goods they are?
Substitute.
Yeah, the two goods are substitutes. And negative means?
Complementary.
Yeah, complementary. And zero means?
Not related.
Non-related. So complementary and non-related goods. So you will find out some questions like this. If it is value is given, what does mean, how it is interpreted? Interpretation is very important in case of price elasticity of demand. And what is that midpoint method? You will calculate P1, P2 is given, Q1 is given, then P2 is given, Q2 is given. How to calculate price elasticity of demand? And in this chapter 5, we will get questions like this. When price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, cross price elasticity of demand, then price elasticity of supply. Price elasticity of supply means when quantity supply, will increase. Price is given, quantity supply is given. Suppose P1 is given, Q1 is given, quantity supply 1 is given. P2 is given, quantity supply of second is given. Calculate price elasticity of supply. Similarly, if price increases, what happened to supply? And price elasticity, how to calculate? Midpoint method. Use the midpoint method only. And what else? Chapter 18. Chapter 18 will be related to what? Labor market. So this is about labor market. So what happens when there is changes in labor market? What you will do? Major question here is VMPL. How to calculate VMPL? Value of marginal productivity if it is greater than wage, then it is accepted. Otherwise, it is rejected. Okay, so it is greater than or equal to. VMPL is equal to wage or greater than wage, then it is the quantity, the commodity is related and this is accepted. And when it is VMPL is less, it is not accepted. And depends. So how the decisions are taken? Some examples may be given to you if not asked directly. VMPL is nothing but price multiplied by marginal productivity of labor. Okay, price per unit and MPL, marginal productivity of labor. Okay, now one more question here you may get, like regarding VMPL, what is equilibrium wage? Equilibrium. Equilibrium, quantity, supply, wage. At equilibrium, quantity supply is quantity demand. So when we are talking about labor market, if market price is more than the equilibrium price, this is your market price, then quantity demand is less than or greater than quantity supply. So QD is less than QS and there is surplus. Similarly, when price is less than equilibrium price, then where it is touching the supply curve, that much is quantity supply. So there will be shortage. Surplus in the labor market is known as unemployment. Unemployment. So there will be shortage in the labor market if the market price is less than the equilibrium price. So concepts are that. Calculation part, you may be given some 1 2 questions also for calculating. If equations is given for quantity demand of labor and quantity supply of labor. This is demand for labor, supply of labor is given. Then you can calculate equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity at that price. What happens to the quantity demand and quantity supply or change when there is market price is higher or market price is lower? That we need to practice, we need to know. If market price is higher, then there will be surplus employment or unemployment, and when there is market price is less than the actual price, equilibrium price, then there will be shortage in the market. Shortage of goods and services in the market. Okay, so that is about your labor market. Now you ask me any question if you have. Regarding this chapter or regarding any other chapter. What chapters we have completed? We have completed chapter 7 in your section. Consumer surplus, producer surplus, total surplus. We have discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
Deadweight loss.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then your chapter is over. Only for exam, you will go for revisions. So, what else? Ask me if there is any specific question. If you have any specific question, you can ask me. Multiple choice question, basically you will get 1 mark, 30 questions. Problem is with in economics will be of lengthy paper, that is reading the questions. You have to be little faster for that. 30 questions you are getting. 1 hour, I think. 2 minutes for one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 1 hour 30 questions. You have to understand the question is not difficult, but just try not to get confused with the answers, and have your rough copy with you for diagram and all that. You have to do and find out the results, then you find out it from the options. So get ready with that also, for getting some questions to be calculated on your copy, on your rough copy or rough paper. Then you will find out how to, what is the correct option. Okay, then you can
Ma'am,
understand. Yes.
ma'am, I have a doubt between monospony and monopoly market.
Monopoly market is any goods market. Monospony market is about, monopoly means when one seller. Monopoly, one seller, many buyers. One seller, many buyer. Okay, that is called monopoly. Okay, now when we are talking about monospony, it is actually basically it is due to, these are all goods, different, or services. We are having this type of, like Sesu is providing, or Tata Power is providing electricity. One monopoly
I mean
power,
monopoly.
monopoly.
Yes.
Okay, monospony means one buyer, many sellers, many sellers. That is called monospony. Got it? So that is one buyer. Here it is one seller, monopoly. Here one buyer, single buyer who is buying the commodity or service, like one labor market. It is a labor contractor, let's say, L&T, or big labor contractors who are providing labor services to others, other small companies or like that. So what they will do, they will hire all the laborers. The means laborers will register in their website or whatever, and they will provide others laborers, or directly they hire people and help them to get some work, or they just use them to work in their field or oil fields or like that. So labor contractors, basically we can say. So they can charge different. If there is one buyer of labor or a factor, that means he has the power to change the price, influence the wage, influence the price. Goods and service price is known as market price, price of, and the price of the wage or the laborer is known as wage, price of the laborer. So this is the difference between monopoly and monospony, basically. Followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other doubt? Anybody? Others are sleeping or what? No doubt. Means either you have understood everything or you have not started your revision yet. That means two things can be possible. Hmm. So MCQ questions are basically concept based questions. Some of them will be regarding the calculation or from the formulas, putting the formulas and getting the results. But the main problem you will face, for which you be prepared, that is about time management, how you will manage the time. One question you are getting confused, then leave that question, go to the other question. And when we are talking about, don't try that question, not that they will not try and just go leave you, but don't waste a lot of time in that question only. 2 minutes you are getting for one, 2 to 3 minutes you may get, because some questions you will be immediately knowing the answer, so you can get that. So some questions you may get. Any other question regarding marginal benefit, marginal utility, how you calculate if price is given, some values are given. Suppose this is your 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and chocolates you are eating, how many times you can eat. Okay, total utility is given 20, 28, 35, 39, suppose. Then what will be marginal utility for first case? Tell me. First case always remains same. Total utility is equal to marginal utility, 20. Second case, tell me how much it will be?
8,
8. Third case,
7,
next,
4.
4.
4.
If price of a good is 7 rupees, how many times, how many chocolates you will buy?
3 times.
3.
Yeah. So marginal benefit equal to, greater than, equal to, if marginal benefit greater than or equal to marginal cost. Cost is nothing but the sacrifice you make. Here we are making sacrifice in terms of money. It may be in terms of kind also. Sometimes we can say that the sacrifice we are giving is maybe our time also. Okay. So how you calculate the differences and how you find out the values, that is you have to do. Then what is the theoretical concepts or Phillips curve? How it is the Phillips curve? Employment, unemployment, and inflation. Suppose inflation here, unemployment here. Then Phillips curve will be like this, which is showing a trade-off. But this trade-off is short-run trade-off. Short-run trade-off between unemployment and inflation. When inflation increase, unemployment decrease, and vice versa. So from multiple choice questions like this, you will get what happened, there is a short run or long run or medium run relation between inflation and unemployment. Then you can find some more questions like, yes, any other doubt? Hmm? Anybody having any other doubt? Any other chapter? Chapter 1, then chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 8, and basically up to this you will get. Chapter 6 and 7 we have completed, but you may not get from these chapters. You will get from 1 to 4, 5, 8 chapters. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Who will benefit from a mutual trade? What is your principle? What is the principle 5? Trade makes everyone better off. Trade makes everyone better off. So who will be benefited?
Both.
Yeah, both, because the principle says trade makes everyone better off. And if not better off, if the two countries are not better off, why they will involve in trade? Some may be more beneficial, getting some more benefits, some may be getting some less benefit, but both will be getting some or other benefit. Otherwise, why? You cannot force anybody to remain in a trade. If I'm not getting any benefit, I will not be in trade, go away. Okay, so when people with high wage and high income, and what about productivity, higher productivity means higher standard of living. And the rich countries, standard of living are more. GDP, what is GDP? How you calculate that is the productivity or standard of living of a country. Standard of living of a country we calculate on the basis of GDP, or that is or per capita income. Okay,
Ma'am, but this question answer in internet it is giving China will be benefited.
more. That will be
Yes, ma'am.
more and less.
Okay, ma'am.
That will be more and less. But if the question is who will be benefited, who both will be benefited. According to principle 5, trade makes everyone better off means both will be benefited. But who will be benefited more? Then China will be benefited more. Follow?
Okay.
Because you see, if somebody's cost of production is less but production is more, two things. When the in international trade, who will have a comparative advantage? Comparative advantage means who will produce a good at lesser cost, or if cost of production is less, then definitely his profit will be more from trade. Okay, if it is selling in one country rather than in another country, domestic country as well as in foreign country, his benefit will be more if cost of production is more less. So if productivity, if they are taking less price, means their productivity, their cost of production is less. Low productivity for China and low wage also. Low wage means low cost, na wage is less. Wage is less means what? Wage is low means cost of production is less. So cost of producing the good, what is your profit? How you calculate profit? Profit is nothing but when we calculate profit. Okay, so from profit point of view, you see profit means what? That is your selling price, price of the product. This is nothing but market price minus the cost price. So cost price, wage is less means cost price is less. Cost price will be low. Followed. So profit will be high in that situation. Followed. A country who is paying higher wage to its people, then what will happen? Their cost of production is also increasing. High cost of production, they cannot compete with China. What China is actually doing, this question is based on that. But when we are talking about who will benefit, both will benefit from trade. Okay, but the thing is both will benefit because we are going by the principles. Principle 5 is saying that when there is trade makes everyone better off. So if two countries are coming, that is if on the basis of comparative advantage, that means if a country can produce a good, that you will not be confused once we will go to ninth chapter 9th actually. If what you are saying, this answer is related to chapter 9th, but till now we have not understood about chapter 9th. Chapter 9th is about international trade, whole chapter. There you will understand on the basis of comparative advantage and absolute advantage. When a good can be produced by two countries, but one country can produce it at lesser cost, will definitely export that good. and it will get more benefited. Suppose India and Pakistan are going for producing good, and in India the labor force are less price, they're taking less price. That means cost of producing suppose onion will be less in India, so it will be have an advantage over producing the good and selling it outside. So cost of production is, which country is having less cost of production, it will definitely gain from trade, more from trade, according to the law of or principle of absolute advantage or and comparative advantage theory of trade. If you will go by that, but if yes, no, no, they cannot export more because who will purchase? Who will purchase that? The costly product one will not purchase. We don't go for quality always. If you will go for quality product, then that is different matter. But in normal international market, people go by quality, less quality, but they think about more about price. You see two things. One is principle says that trade makes everyone better off, and another is it is absolute or a comparative advantage, comparative cost advantage, comparative cost advantage means whichever this according to this principle, which country can produce a good at lesser cost will be beneficial, will benefit from trade. According to this principle, you will China will gain. But when we are talking about trade makes everyone better off, both will gain, but China will gain more definitely in that case. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, all the best. I hope you will do good in the exam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.